Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast from season 6, episode number 38. We're Dan and Andy, your hosts. This is a sports edition, Andy.
Yep, just powering through this sports edition today. A lot of town ball stuff, a lot of baseball stuff. I got some UFL, got some. I even have college football. I have NFL, a little bit of NFL, WNBA. Yeah.
Well, it's it's July 28th. This will be our last show here of sports show for July. We'll be into August, which means, football, training camp, NFL, all this stuff, baseball playoffs. We're already into all that. So let's start off with the trivia question, Andy.
Yep, go ahead.
On this day in 1989, can you name the National League player that hit 2 3-run homers in the same inning on this day, 1989?
The summer after I graduated high school.
2 3-run homers in one inning.
All right, I'll have to think about that.
Let that sink in. Quite the feat. We'll get the answer at the end of the episode.
All right. Let's do my stuff here. I hit that button. And away we go. Good, dive right into it. Not messing around. Soapbox.
Wow.
I hit it hard. Playing my ace right away. It's kind of there's a little bit of my review of the Milwaukee ballpark and things I saw there. I think I put up on the Facebook today. Baseball etiquette at the stadium. The do's and don'ts.
Okay.
Now this goes for, I don't care if you're at the Little League game, if you're at a town ball game, you're at a Twins or Mets game, you're at the World Series, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Minor league, Savannah Bananas, all of it.
Well, Savannah Bananas don't count. That's just silliness.
Wow.
That's silliness. Okay. Here's what I saw at the Brewers game, which really caused this bald spot in my head to get bigger because I was just pulling my hair out. Okay. When you're coming down, when people have the aisle seat and you got the ramp to go up to the concourse to get snacks and beers, which is fine. I like sitting by the aisle. Yeah, I get up for people to pee, but they don't have to get up for me, so I'd rather do that. Anyway, when you're coming down and the ushers stand there and they're 93 years old, no, you can't go yet. So they walk down 5 more feet to watch, and they're standing in front of you. Get the hell out of the way. Wait up in the concourse where it's in between batters. You can come down. They say in between pitches, but just be safe to do it in between batters, okay? Or in between innings. You can still see from up there. If I go up to get another beer or get rid of a beer or get a hot dog or something, just wait till the half inning's over and get down. Because now if you wait for the half inning to get over, everybody else is getting up to move around. They're standing and stretching anyway. You're not bothering them in mid-inning. That's just common courtesy. But you do not get up during an at-bat. I'm pretty sure in Philadelphia they'll hit you for it. Don't get violent. The New York teams might get a little pushy. I don't think the Dodger fans would notice. But Milwaukee, they just did stupid stuff like that all the time. They would they'd stand there in your way so you couldn't see. Then the guy hits a home run, the turn around, wasn't that great? I said, I wouldn't know. I didn't see it. And then I used some not safe for work language with the gentleman and asked him to kindly move on. I know it's hard to believe I'd lose my temper like that to somebody. But little things like that. If you want to get up because it's your favorite player, so you get a little excited to stand and watch him at bat, have your 5-6 seconds of that, then turn around and read the room. If no one else in that section is standing, sit down. Sit down, please. Before I tell you to sit down. You can boo, you can cheer. That part don't bother me. I don't really care. Throw it in my face if the guy I cheer for you don't like and he just did bad. Rub it in my face. That's fine. I get it. That's all part of being at a game. Unless you bother me, do your best to keep your eye on the language. Again, read the room. A lot of kids around, grandma's around, kind of keep it in check. That's just a decency thing. But the most important thing, 2 things. One, please God, don't do or start the wave. That's a no. And second of all, please, please, please stand and remove your cap singing the national anthem. And try not to applaud too close to the end of it. Let them finish.
Now, Andy, so this was Miller Park, or I'm not sure what it's called
American
now.
Family Field. American
Family. So this is Midwest. It's the Brewers. You would think when it comes to courtesy and things like that, I would expect those fans to know better. Other areas not, but this was just not the case when you went. At the game you were at,
they're not that smart there anyway.
Now, Andy, I went to a game this early in this April, early in the season, to see a Braves game against the Twins, and I, like you, that's one thing I could not believe. In Atlanta, and I'm not just going against the Braves fans. It just happened to be the game I was at. None of the fans coming up and down the aisles in the lower bowl there waited till in between the plate appearance ended.
Yep.
People were coming in. People were standing up and filing to their spot with a 2-1 count, with a 1-2 count, 1-0 count. And you couldn't see the pitch. And this happened, I tell you, all 9 innings.
Yep.
They did not know the etiquette. Now it's an unwritten rule, but it makes common sense. Wait till the inning's over to go grab your beer or a hot dog, or wait till the at bat is finished.
Yeah.
The few seconds in between a player batting, a new batter coming in, or the batter striking out and walking to the dugout is all that you need to go get into your seat.
Yep. The aisles aren't that big where it's going to take you that long to get down the row. If unfortunately you're sitting in the middle, do it after an at bat. You can get down and out of the way for the next batter, for the batter takes his place.
So what we saw, my wife and I went to the game. It was nonstop, and we rolled our eyes thinking, why would you just nonstop? And it was 3 or 4 times it was the same people in our same row. Never even conceived the thought to say, let's wait till this at bat is done and the next batter comes up, or you know what, there's 2 outs, let's just wait for the inning to end. Now, some stadiums will have ushers at the top. Twins, Target Field, are very good at this.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
They'll have the elderly gentleman there saying, standing at the top, just saying, wait till the at bat is done, that you can go down, or wait till the inning is over to go down. We don't want to confuse those with the ushers that are checking every single ticket to see if you're eligible to go down there. The Twins were also very known for that. They want to make sure people are in the right section and not going into the wrong section. So they're checking tickets. Now that's annoying, right?
Yeah.
They kind of do that, and it's fine to do that. I don't personally like it, but their job is to make sure people are going up and down the streams on the stairs in between the at bats, because some people just don't know any better. So you see this a lot at various games where they don't know, but Twins games, I don't see this a lot. I think the etiquette is very good at Target Field.
Target Field's good. And like I said, talk about checking the ticket. Well, nowadays you're looking at this. You're not checking a ticket.
Yeah.
So don't have their ticket in their hand. It's on their phone. And you just got to trust that they are in that section and know where they're going.
And the other thing that I've noticed the last couple of years is because the fans really hate when the usher asks to see the ticket or your phone to see if you're in the right aisle or not. Now I think and it might be just a common courtesy where the instruction is to don't check for the tickets and just don't even monitor the stairways, which is good, but bad in the fact that now no one's monitoring who's coming down the aisle mid at bat.
Right.
So they may have meant well by this in Atlanta in particular. No one was watching. They just let you do free reign, which is great. But now there's no one monitoring the flow of the people going up and down in between and at bat. Now, even if the people aren't in your row and you're near the aisle, they're standing in your way, going down, going up, or stopping to wait for someone to come in and out, and you cannot see anything. So that's, I think, the point we're trying to make here is do it between the at-bat. When the at-bat finishes, meaning the batter got an out or reached base, we'll do it then. Or wait till the end of the inning, not in the middle of an at-bat. And boy, I could not believe down at Truist Park for the Braves, the number of fans that did that. Oh my God.
And the one thing here's kind of, I'll give you the exception to the rule on this one. With a Brewers game where we're at, you can probably count these people on your thumbs in the league. When Ohtani came up, everybody stood and got their cameras out. I mean, I didn't, because I knew my cheap phone wasn't going to get a decent picture for crap from where I was sitting, so I wasn't going to bother. But then some press guys were there because the Asian players have their own press. The press follows them from their papers. They were there. You just kind of ask them, hey, you're in the middle of the aisle, dude. Can you kind of like move over a little bit with your big camera? Thanks. So when you got your Ohtanis or Aaron Judges, come up, I'll give you that then. Okay, I'll give you that exception when that batter comes up, everybody's standing with their cameras out. I'll give you those generational superstars like that. But even then, it's like Ohtani came up, they all like, whoa, Ohtani's up. And then they sat down, they went back to just walking around aimlessly till he came up again. It was the bottom of the 8th, and he got out bottom of the 8th. You'd think someone said there's free cheese outside of Milwaukee, because that place just emptied. Because that shows you how many were there just to see the superstar play. He was done. It was the 8th inning. Odds are he's not batting again, pretty sure. They all took off.
Yeah. So, and like you said earlier, understand your surroundings. Look around and just get a feel for the audience in your surroundings. Watch the language. If you're going to be up on the concourse hanging out with some friends and buddies and standing there for 3 innings, fine. You stand all you want. But once you're down in people's ways, make it quick. Stay down, stay low, get in your seats, and get situated. Once you sit down, you don't need to take 5 minutes to get yourself situated. But that's what I've noticed, and I couldn't really believe the last couple of years the number of fans that do that. But I think it's also the grounds crew or the stadium workers saying, hey, don't be in the people's faces, just let them go up and down the aisles as they want. But now that's backfiring because everyone's doing whatever they want.
And this has happened to me once in my life, I think. And for me, it was late, but not really. You've seen your ticket. You've had it for a while. The game starts at 7:05. Don't come in at 7:20. Don't come in at the bottom of the second inning like you're just getting there. Oh, look at this neat stadium. You will come in and be in all the stadium. Come in beforehand and stand and gawk at it. Don't come in the second inning and be standing in your row gawking around at everything. Don't come in late.
So those are some do's and don'ts. Is there anything else that we missed, Andy?
Not really. Just kind of a do, and this is just a shout out, if you will. If you still have a vendor, very few places have vendors anymore. Treat them decently. It's not his fault that beer is $12.45 a can. It's not his fault that he's got this other thing. He's just be decent with them. Tip them well, and they'll make you happy and have a fun experience the whole time. A bad game can be made fun by treating your vendor well.
I like it.
State amateur baseball tournament kind of has started. The sectional playoffs. It's kind of like the first round of the state football tournaments. It's not really the prep bowl, but it's the state tournament still. The region has started. The region playoffs has started. This year's state tournament, Hutchinson, Broughton, and Gaylord. You will see our pretty faces at Broughton for most of the games this year. Bring a Sharpie, we'll sign almost anything.
Wow.
Here is the 7C regional tournament. Now, here's where I'm going to have to do some more studying research. I forgot about all this. I'm looking at some of the rankings here for 7C, and I know Broughton did good in the Crow River 7C, but it's more than just Crow River teams that are in 7C, so don't think you know everything there. There's your brackets and your games. They start this Thursday. Glencoe is the 1 seed right there. And it looks like 4 teams will make the state qualifier this year from 7C. So 4 of the 8. So good luck to everybody there. Broughton is the 5 seed. Gaylord is the 7 seed. So there we go. There's the games. Good luck to all.
And remind everybody, Andy, to pick up the Crow River Review for this tournament.
Yes.
There's a separate one for each of the tournaments for the Crow River. Kip Kovar has nicely put together.
Yeah. This is for Sunday's game before. Technically, the 7B tournament did begin. It began Saturday night at 6. Green Isle and the Waves were victorious. So on this stat we have, it still says the at-large team. It is Green Isle, or I'm sorry, it is the Waves on there. So there's the pool play starting Thursday and Friday. The 1 seed against the 6 seed, which is now, as we know, West Honka will play Young America. Friday, it's Watertown against Carver. And these are all games up at 4:20. Highland Street. Games 3 and 4 will be Saturday, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Plato against the Waves, and then Delano and Carver. And then Sunday's doubleheader, YA and Plato, Watertown, Delano. In the perfect world, let's hope they don't all three turn out 1-1, because I don't know what's going to happen if that does. Because here's how the seeding goes out after that. Pool A champion against the Pool B runner-up. Pool A champion against Pool B runner-up. Now, if you want to be the jerk and you want to look at it and go, so basically the games Sunday are for the 1 and 2 seeds. That's kind of the way it works out. But if Carver gets hot or the Waves get hot, they can mess all that up. So I kind of hope one of these brackets turn up all 3 of them 1-1 just to see what happens, because I don't know. So I'm not wishing ill on anybody, but it'd be kind of cool to see how that works out. If you were the higher seed and you get the benefit of the doubt, I don't know. Carver to 5 seed, I'm a little, not saying they're going to win it, but I wouldn't guarantee it as a win either. So
now, typically, Andy, my prediction is there's going to be an upset here.
I'm saying Carver's going to upset this whole apple cart somewhere,
and the following weekend there's probably going to be an upset too. So even though on paper people can kind of draw their own conclusions, but you never know until the games are played.
And so here's how it goes. Like it says, it's the A champ and the B runner-up, and the A runner-up and the B champ the following week. Then now, if I'm reading this right, 3 teams go to state.
Yes.
Okay, the champion will be the 1 seed, the runner-up will be the 2 seed, and the loser of game 5, which is what you see on the chart here, it says loser game 3, loser game 4. So if I'm reading it right, if you win that first day, you're basically in, right?
Yeah, their state qualifier games are right away. The first game is a qualifier for state. So the ones I think listed in yellow highlight, you win that first game. We don't know what your seed are, but we know you're going to state.
Because if you look at it,
yep,
you win game 1 you win game 1 or 2, you're automatically in, because you're going to the winner of that game goes to the championship game, and second place is in. So, and it says loser of game 5. Well, game 5, if I'm reading this right, is the loser of games 3 and 4. So if you win one of the first 2 games, you're in.
Yeah, and then even if you lose the first game, you win that subsequent consolation,
you're in.
You're in. So all it means, it's a double elimination. You lose 2, you're out.
Well, you're 1-1 and you're in.
Yep.
You're 2-0. So who knows?
So it is interesting. We will provide updates on that too as well, because this weekend for the 7B, it's just pool play, and then what's on the screen there is the second weekend after the pool play is done. So already 2 teams will be out of it, and then this will eliminate 1 more team.
And now, if you technically look at it now, the first game is Thursday, second game's Friday. Saturday at noon is the winner of game, the winners bracket, if you will. At 3 o'clock is the losers bracket. At 6 o'clock, if you lost that game 3 and you won that second game, so there's going to be some teams playing twice that day.
Yes, there will be. And right away on Saturday is that's an elimination game. Yep. So
and there's no drafted pitchers here yet. This is you're dancing with who you brought.
Yes.
So might be a little strategy in that first game. If you're way ahead or way behind, saving pitchers for the next Saturday's make or break day,
you'll see how deep your pitching staff
Yep.
is. And that's the other point of this whole tournament. It's you got to have pitching. You got to have pitching because now you're playing back to back. You're playing every other day. You're playing 2 or 3 times in 2 days. A lot's going to happen.
The Gophers in the draft are still consecutively had someone taken. 3 teams, really only the Gophers. Southern Cal and UCLA just joined. The Gophers have had someone drafted in the Major League Baseball draft consecutively every year since 1988. Third longest streak in the Big Ten, but it was the longest a couple years ago when those other 2 schools joined. So,
oh yes, that's right.
All right, this happened over the weekend. Nick Kurtz of the A's in one game. A game with 4+ home runs, which he did. A game with 5 or more extra base hits. A game with 6+ hits. A game with 6 or more runs. And a game with 8 or more RBIs. He did all that in one night.
And it's a player, Andy, most people, I myself have never heard of.
Right. And you know what? Pretty sure he didn't pay for a drink at the bar that night.
Oh, man. This is not Ohtani. This is not Aaron Judge. This is Nick Kurtz just going off as a 22-year-old rookie.
And he had 4 home runs, and he just missed the 5th. He would have been the first guy ever to have 5 homers in a game.
Oh, my.
Look for Mark Vientos to be traded this week from the Mets. Am I sad? A little bit. Am I surprised? Not really. He finished the year strong, had a good playoff run. They gave him a lot of cake, and he's just not. He was lightning in a bottle last year. He's a good player. He's not the money they paid him to player, so we'll see how that goes. He's not good enough to wear sunglasses like that.
Wow.
I said that. The Guardians have another player with a gambling problem, looks like. Clase, who was maybe on the borderline of maybe being traded this year at the trade deadline. Well, he ain't playing for at least another month. Well, the Major League Baseball investigates his gambling issues. Scandal. So it's 2 players from the Indians this year alone on gambling. We'll see what happens out of this one. This weekend, Speedway Classic, Reds and Braves. This is what the stadium looks like. And then the other shots have an aerial view of the stadium and how it's all going to look. They will break the record of 85,000 plus people at a ball game.
Okay.
So that should be kind of exciting to see how that turns out, how the field plays and everything else, wins with home runs and how the wind affects stuff and everything else we shall see. Kind of excited to see it just, again, it's like watching the London games. I really don't give 2 rips who wins either way. I just kind of want to see how this plays out. He threw grass on top of concrete for 48 hours. Let's see what happens.
I am interested in checking this out. That'll be very.
And here's the head scratcher to me on stuff like this. They pull this off. NASCAR does a race last 2 years at the beginning of the year where they put asphalt down at the Los Angeles Coliseum for getting a race in there. These sports just aren't making enough money. Okay. All right. Nick Gonzalez had a good point. He goes, if you're in the Hall of Fame, I shouldn't be wearing your number. He wears number 39, the same number Dave Parker wore when he was with the Pirates. And the Pirates never retired Dave Parker's number. Now, part of me, again, this is kind of a bonus soapbox in a way. You can't keep track of all the past superstars on every team when you're a player. It is what it is. You're going to miss somebody. You could be a baseball savant. You're still going to miss some. I love Dave Parker, and I totally gapped he wore number 39 at the Pirates. I didn't infatuate with him enough, I guess. I would feel kind of bad. It's like, wait, you give me a number of a guy who's in the Hall of Fame now and you're not retired. I'd feel kind of bad, too, that I'm wearing it. So he'd want to change numbers mid-season. Doesn't know if it could happen. I guarantee he wears another number next year. Not saying the Pirates will retire it, but Parker's in the Hall of Fame. They don't have, and that just happened this year, and his number's not retired.
So
Andy, I don't know how I feel about that. Just because the guy goes to the Hall of Fame, you don't automatically retire his number that year. Or you can't be in the Hall of Fame if your number is not retired. I don't know how that argument wants to work out.
I think for the folks going in as what I'm going to call legitimate Hall of Fame, the regular Hall of Fame, typically those numbers are reserved or retired or whatever, right?
Yep.
Now, this is the Veterans Committee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parker fell down into this Veterans Committee like Tony Oliva and some others have done over the recent years. And I don't think many teams are monitoring or watching those numbers. Maybe we'll see. And maybe that's how this happened.
Now, let me tug at your heartstrings here. This is near and dear to us. The Washington Nationals / Montreal Expos with Gary Carter's number. The Mets have not retired Gary Carter's number. There's been a lot of talk about that. I don't think the Mets gave it out for a few years, haven't given it out for a few years, but they don't have it retired. Should the Mets retire Gary Carter's number? He's in the Hall of Fame, has been for years. He's passed away.
That's a good conversation to have.
Do you have hey, we're not going to retire your number, but you know what? We'll go 15 years without giving it out for a while. How's that sound? And that's kind of still respecting the player. I'm okay with that. If you kind of we're just going to back shelf it for a while until, someone really asks for it or kind of a big name asks for it. But we'll just kind of keep it in the closet for a little bit. I'm okay with that. It is
an interesting dilemma.
I'm going to use a little of my intelligence here on this one from the Mets game over the weekend.
Yes.
Well, Andy's intelligence.
Okay.
And this is not a rip on the Mets, but it happened in a Mets game. Diaz struck out this batter, and you can see on the little strike picture on the bottom there. 3 strikes, all called strikes, got ever swing. They're all called a strike, all outside the little box thing there.
Okay.
All right. I'm being a baseball guy right now.
Okay.
If you saw all game, he was calling that as a strike. Don't bitch when he pitches it there and he calls it a strike. Yes, it's outside the zone, but has he been calling it all day? Yep. Did you call the first 2 pitches out at bat? Yep. Then don't argue when the third one's called a strike there too. If he's been calling them all day, adjust. You're a professional.
And that's called consistency. It doesn't have to be right or wrong, but as long as it's consistent. And if this was happening, particularly in that very at bat.
Yep. And I don't blame Diaz. If the ump's giving it to you, take it, baby.
You lose the chance to argue it as a batter. Now, if they're all, right down the pipe and then there's one that's way off the plate, you have a chance to argue a little bit, but these are all in the same spot, and you were
look at those 3 red marks are boom, boom, boom. He was painting it like Greg Maddux, but he was painting it 6 inches outside, and the ump was giving it to him. Then you know what? Guess you might well get that bat off your shoulder there, son. So 2 reasons. Diaz is that good, he was getting the call, and B, you're that bad, you weren't getting the call. All right, I said that too.
Yeah.
Police reports.
Wow.
College football this time. Georgia Bulldogs since January of 2023 have 24 wins and 26 arrests. Give it up for the Bulldogs.
That's
great. Those are Raider numbers right there, man.
Those are Raider numbers. Now, who tracks this? I just love this.
I don't know, but where was that guy career day in high school? I want to have that job at the stats company, keep track of wins and arrests for teams. So
the internet's a wild thing. You could pull up anything you want, and it's making these kinds of fun stats all the time. They're
laughing at people. So the arrest could be. This isn't a speeding ticket. This is an arrest. Like the bracelets were put on. You were put in the car and booked.
It's not a traffic citation. Yeah. No. This is you're cuffed and stuffed, and so 26,
as Roscoe used to say. WNBA standings, the Lynx are still up there, 22-5, best record in the W, as the girls call it, the W. If you look down there, there's Caitlin Clark and the Fever at 14-12. The Dallas Wings, Paige Beckers, 7-19. The Sky with the Me Board girl, Reese, 7-18. So just because you got the superstars doesn't mean you're winning. We have team players on the Lynx, and we're winning. Speaking of, LA Sparks forward Cameron Brink will be making her return. She's been out. She was the number 2 pick in 2024. Went down last year. She's been out 13 months with a torn ACL. She's a great player, and I'm not saying anything, but some of these basketball players, the ACL tear, who knows how long if she just doesn't heal well. So how's this going to affect her career? Obviously, number 2 pick last year, gets hurt in her rookie year, is just coming back. Obviously, she's never really been majorly injured in her career, had a serious injury. So we didn't know how her body is going to react. Some players can get hurt a lot and they bounce back. ACL is nothing to mess with. So we shall see. And there's my girl, Becky Hammond. 100 wins as a coach.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Coach Hammond.
Well done. Tough thing to do.
Isn't that a great smile?
Terrific. Just a terrific smile.
Just all around super. She's super, as my brother-in-law would say. She's super. All right, I saw this today. Here's some Viking stuff. Worst mascots in sports history. And there you see our own Ragnar down there in the bottom middle. And of course, the Philly Fanatics on there too. So I thought this was it was a double dip for me. I just was very giddy when I saw this.
Yes. Kool-Aid, man.
And here we go. Some local news. Former Beaver, Gunnar Wolzinski, former Beav. The Giants re-signed him again. They listed him as a wide receiver, but he's mostly a punt and kick returner. It's kind of built like Don Beebe, which is a perfect for a punt and kick returner. You know, that fourth gutty receiver out there sometimes. But look for Gunnar. Be back with the Giants this year. Woohoo, Gunnar.
Congrats.
Go Beavs. Projected regular season wins for the FCS this year. And look who's number one. Horns up, Bison. Projected to win 10.3 games.
10.3.
Then 9-7, 9-3 for the Bunnies. The Grizz at 8-9. Look at all those. I'm trying to find. Oh, there's North Dakota with 6. Ha! All right. I got one more thing. Just one.
Okay.
Bonus episode dropped yesterday. Jason Ink and I talking about the life and times of Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Check it out. It's on Spotify only. You won't see it on YouTube. But check it out on Spotify. We talked for about 25 minutes about Hogan and just wrestling in general, what he did for the business and things like that. Like or hate him, I think you'll still appreciate what we did there. I liked it. Let me know what you think of it. Jason and I have another one in the bag to come out later this week or early next. Looking at doing more wrestling shows with Mr. Ink.
That is good. Good. I always check out our bonus episodes. Andy, I've got a little UFL news.
Yes, fire away.
So the UFL used to be, the USFL and then the XFL. They combined to become the UFL. They said that we can only go with 8 teams, 4 in each division. And the season ended, and there's some cuts, and there's layoffs, and there's cutbacks. They're not making money, surprise, shocker. But they did announce that there will be 4 franchises moving.
Uh-oh.
Now, I don't know if they came out and did a study and said, hey, these 4, we got to relocate, or hey, there's 4 cities that want us to relocate there, and we'll just pick these 4, or if they even told the ownership. But they're going to be moving the Birmingham Stallions.
Okay. That's one of the major cities that hosted all the games at first.
They hosted it. They were in COVID during the bubble. Birmingham was the hotbed of the league.
Was that their corporate office, Birmingham?
That's their corporate office when they first started. Now I think everything's in Dallas now.
Okay.
So they want to now move Birmingham to another city location. Houston Roughnecks are going to be relocated. Memphis Showboats.
Okay.
And the Michigan Panthers.
I'm okay with Houston and Michigan. You got NFL teams, so I'm okay with that.
Yep, so am I. So one of the spots they want to move to is, I think, Boise, Idaho, the Lexington / Kentucky, Louisville. They want to get into Louisville, Lexington area, Boise, Idaho, and a couple other locations. So follow that in the news at all. Look for, if they're moving, this means new potential logos and helmets and jerseys and different colors and all this.
I like the Boise, Idaho. I like the Boise, Idaho one, but travel there might be kind of tight because that's kind of a distance if everybody's kind of grouped around, Maybe they'll make like a couple teams in the Pacific Northwest up there. I don't know if Boise wants to be called that, but
we'll see in the off season what's going to happen because DC and St. Louis draws the most. St. Louis, the Battle Hawks, DC Defenders, those are the teams that draw really well. And so those guys have no problems. It's based in Dallas, so of course they're going to keep it there. But those 4 are going to be on the move. So watch that for any pending updates then as well.
Perfect.
All right, trivia answer, Andy.
Yes, okay, I was thinking about this. Go ahead.
Here's the question. Which player on this day, 1989, in the National League hit 2 3-run homers in the same inning?
That's 89.
RBI. Now, that 6 RBI, by the way, is tied
Yeah.
for a record for most RBI in an inning. 6. That's still a major league record to this day.
All right. I'm thinking about who it was back then, who players were back then. Jose Canseco.
Maybe Dave Parker.
Yeah. Jose can strike out, as we used to call him.
Maybe Dave Kingman. The answer is Dale Murphy, the Braves.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Friend of the show, Dale Murphy, 2 homers in 1 inning that were 3-run homers each to give him 6 RBI in an inning of baseball. 1 inning.
Nice going, Murph.
All right, we'll be back next week on the show when we crack into April, and these playoff tournaments for town ball are going to be, August, well underway. I'm thinking my mind's not there.
You're already at spring training.
August. Yeah, we're in August. So these first round tournaments or playoffs, they're to weed out the low hanging fruit, the teams with low wins, the teams that aren't very good. They give everyone a chance. They're all in the playoffs, but they're trying to trim the fat here. And by next weekend, it's the real deal. The top.
There'll be a couple Cinderellas that sneak through, but when it's all said and done,
but it's going to be tough to do that going forward here. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll talk about that next week.
Good luck to all teams involved.
Yep. Have a good one.
That's all we got. See ya.